Okay, so good evening, guys. My name is Kuldeep Singh, and I'm from NIT Bhopal. And today I will solve the problem, which is the maximum consecutive ones. Okay, maximum consecutive ones means that how many ones are presented, which is the contiguous allocation, and which is the maximum number of count is the maximum in that particular array. For example, here we will iterate over here. If I check that one is here, so one two number of ones are present in that particular size of the array is 2. Now here 0. Okay, so now let us move on to the here. Now 1 is here. Okay, now we will check that over here 1 is here. Okay, 1 2 and 1 is here, which is in that particular index in the size is the sorry 2. So we have to return the maximum count, means that maximum consecutive ones. So this is the maximum. Are you getting my point? So we have to return this problem. No, sorry, return the 3 in that particular problem. So I will discuss the two approaches. Which one is the brute force? After understand the brute force, then we will move on to the optimal approach, which is much better than the brute force. Yeah. So brute force is nothing. Brute force just like if you think about the, I think you have already think in your mind that brute force is the using two passes, which is the using for loop from 0 to n, and second loop also 0 to n, and we will take a two variable which will initially starting count equal to 0 and second count equal to 0 after iterating the one loop. And if if nums of j, it means that we will, for example, we will initialize the for loop using second variable which is the j, and then we will check that nums of j equal to 1 count plus plus else break, and then we will after over the iteration we will return the maximum both of them. So it takes a big of n square time complexity and we go of one space complexity, which is not a better. Although space complexity wise is a good, but time complexity wise is not a good, because big O of n square is, you know, time taking. Okay, which is not a good, because we have a better approach. Uh, how can we think about this problem in brute force manner? Okay. If I iterate over here using only one pass, take a mm, int count equal to 0, and second is the maxi equal to 0, and we will iterate over here 0 to n, and we will check that condition over here. We will if nums of I. Okay, if I is the variable which is the pointing to the index of that particular array, and if I check that nums of I, nums is the name of the array which is contain the 0 and 1. If nums of I equal to 0, equal to 0, it means that do nothing, count initialize from 0. If nums of I equal to 0, count initialize from 0, else count plus plus, and after count increment y1, then we will store the maximum element in the maxi using the max function in that in this approach, and which is the maximum from maxi comma count, which one is the maximum. Okay, so now what we will do here, we will simply find out the maximum equal to max equal to count comma maxi. Max is the predefined function in the C++. Okay, so what, now let us move on to the coding part, and in coding part we can simply understand very simply that particular problem. Okay, so just like that, we will iterate. Sorry, we will take a count variable. Second one is the maxi to store the maximum count in that particular variable, and we will count if for store the number of count, how many number of count present in that particular array, then we will store in that particular variable. We will iterate over here if nums of I equal to 0. Now we will let's create a vector which is element 1 1 0 1 1 and 1. We will iterate over here. If we will check that condition over here, if nums of I equal to 0, nums of I equal to 0, it means that condition is not true, condition is false, because nums of I is not equal to 0. We will move on to the else part. In else part we will count equal to 1, because initially count is 0. After do this operation, count increment by 1 and maxi equal to max or maxi comma count. Initially maxi store the 0. After count increment by 1, now maxi store the 1, so maxi also equal to 1. Okay, okay. Because there are lots of remaining elements are present in that particular array. Now we will iterate over here and I pointing at here. Okay, then we will check nums of I equal to 0 or not. Yeah, this is not a 0. Move on to else part. Count increment by 2 and maxi equal to max of maxi comma count. Because initially maxi has 2. Sorry, maxi has 1. 1. But here the count is 2 and maxi is 1. So which one is the maximum? The count is the maximum, so maxi also stored 2. Are you getting my point? Okay, now let us move on to the next part, next iteration, and then we will check. Okay, condition is true. If condition true, it means that count equal to 0. Now we will count equal to 0. Maxi remains same. Maxi stored 2. 2 remains same. There are no changes in that particular variable, which is maxi. Okay, now we will iterate over here. Check. Condition true or false? False. Move on to the else part. Okay, count plus plus. Count 0 to 1. Maxi equal to max comma count. At that moment, maxi has 2 and count is 1. Which one is the maximum? Maxi is maximum. Simply written 2. Okay, okay. Now we will iterate over here and move on to the next iteration. We will check that over here if nums of I equal to 0 or not. Yeah, this is 0. No, no, sorry, this is not a 0. Okay, move on to the else part. Count increment by 1. Yeah, count 1 to 2 and maxi equal to max of maxi comma count. Maxi and count both are equal. Okay, no one is the greater than or less than, both are equal. Okay, do nothing, simply remain same maxi. Okay, now we will move on to the next iteration, which is the 1. Okay, now we will check that condition if nums of I equal to 0. No. Move on to the else part. Count increment by. Okay, count increment by 1. After increment by 1, we will check that condition over here. Maxi equal to max of maxi comma count. Which one is the maximum? Maxi or count? Yeah, everyone knowing that the count is the greater than uh, from maxi. Yeah, maxi now store the 3 over the 2. After now array is completed, so we will simply return the maxi at the end of the program. Yeah, so this is the example and this is the array. So this is the problem of the maximum consecutive ones. I think you have understand very well, and thank you so much.